this.
It's one of those days.
Welcome. Isabel Bradburn Jackson of Dear Divine Goddess and myself, Jennifer Bulbrook with I Am Somebody, are putting together this docuseries called Lost Souls Initiative, where we're taking people's stories and sharing them with the world. Stories from those who currently are suffering and not getting the help they need, even after asking for it, and stories from those who have struggled personally and have been able to get out on the other side. We're also taking stories from those who have loved ones who are suffering with mental health and addictions, and stories of family who are currently watching their loved ones suffer now. Today, we're actually going to be introducing myself and Isabel to you, what we do, our business, and just so you guys get to know kind of like who we are and where this series is coming from. So it's not going to be too much of a long episode, but just enough to wet your whistle. I was gonna say to wet. Oh, see, I can't talk today. Anyhow, welcome, as you know, Isabel. So I'm gonna have you, I guess, introduce yourself, and we'll kind of just take it from there.
So I am a certified somatic mind and body coach. I'm also a Reiki master. So I deal with energy healing, but I like to deal with people on a holistic basis. So that means like their mindset, reaching into really like the core traumas that they've dealt with from childhood and those types of things. But also bringing into it like your energetic body as well, like your chakras and all of those things, because when we are not aligned, it's harder for us to really be okay in our mind, right? Because anything that we have going on emotionally, or mentally, it does create, like it manifests physically in our body. And I'm a strong believer that you cannot deal with one and not the other. So I'm trying to deal with people on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical kind of way where we're hitting all of the points, to really get them healing and in a place of feeling cared for by themselves, because we know that we are the only ones who have the power to really change our lives and what we're going through. And sometimes it's just a little change in perspective. Sometimes it's just a little mindset change where we realize, oh, I do have the power to do this. And we're not looking for like outside gratification or somebody on the outside saying, yeah, like that's what you need to do. Like really kind of listening to your body in order to realize what it is that you need in order to heal.
When you say like chakras and that type of talk, what do you exactly mean? Is that like the energy? Like, what is that all about?
It is energy healing. It's a form of energy healing. So we have 7 chakras, and if they're unaligned, then the energy is not flowing through our bodies the way it's supposed to be. So it can affect certain things, right? And it can have a really grave effect on our physical body as well, because when we have emotions that are trapped in our bodies, we're holding on to that and we're creating dis-ease in our body. So that is where the diseases come from, right? So like it's just trying to get to the emotional stuff and the stuff that is trapped in our body and get it flowing freely and moving that energy and those emotions out of the body so that we can heal. Because I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but our body is meant to heal itself as long as we are giving it what it requires, and that's where I'm at. I try to do the holistic route, and I mean, I'm not against Western medicine at all. I believe that they have their place in it as well. And, when you have certain traumas, broken leg, gunshot wound, car accidents, those things, go to the hospital, go to your doctor, get treatment, do what you have to do. You know what I mean? But I also believe prevention is better than cure. So if we are doing things to nourish our body properly, then we won't have to deal with the dis-ease in our bodies. So if we all started really listening to our bodies, then we could detect easier what it is that we need or what it is that we're going through. You know, I think we are so concerned by what's going on outside of us that we miss all of the red flags or um, little messages our body's giving to us. And that is how things get really bad or get to the point where we're needing medical attention for things, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's just like a combination of all of it together holistically, dealing with each human holistically.
I love that. So do you do like crystals and like that smoke stuff?
Smudging, yep, yep, yep. I deal
Okay.
with crystals, I deal with smudging. I do a lot of kind of like therapies with essential oils. Um, because those we also know, right? There's also color therapy, there's sound therapy, and these are all things that we can bring into our lives that are going to help us, right? Um, Also, just like mindfulness, yoga is great, meditation is amazing. Meditation has really helped me deal with my anxiety and my insomnia because of anxiety. Um, these are all ways that we can feed our souls and feed our bodies and um, really take care of ourselves. You know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time for it. But yeah, you do, because you spent 10 minutes on TikTok. That's 10 minutes you could have been meditating.
Yeah.
You know, you spent 3 hours on Instagram. Well, that's 3 hours you could have been really, really taking care of you. You know, you could have been meditating, you could have went for a walk, you could have made a smoothie, you could have done a million things in that
Yeah.
time, right? It's just about what we are prioritizing. And I think that is a huge thing in our society because we're meant to take care of, we're trained to take care of everything and everybody else and have nothing left for ourselves. So I'm trying to switch that narrative with my clients and make it so, like, be selfish, because it's not selfish to take care
Mhm.
of you first. It's necessary because we cannot pour from an empty cup, right? And if we are going to take care of other people, we have to take care of ourselves first.
Mhm.
It's necessary, you know?
I love that. I love the work that you do. I don't know a whole lot about it, as you can tell, because I say smoke stuff and that. But like we've talked about, you and I are gonna do a session, and so I can really get a feel of it. I've always been kind of curious of what it was like, but I won't lie, for the longest time I thought it was kind of like woohoo and like a little like out there, I guess. But the more that I've opened up just my curiosity with things instead of judging the stuff,
Yeah.
I'd rather experience it and get to know it. And so that is where I'm coming from when it comes
Well,
to.
we get that a lot, right? Because it is like considered woo woo, and people are like, oh, that woo woo stuff. And I get it, I understand it, right?
Mhm.
But that is because people are ignorant about it. They don't know. They don't have understanding of it, right? And if they really went into it and experienced it like I experienced it, or even researched it like I researched it,
Mhm.
then they would have a greater understanding of it and really see the science behind it, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just woo woo, there's no science. And
Yeah.
people believe science, and I understand it, I get it fully, right? No judgment from me. I was that person years and years ago,
Mhm.
but there is great science behind it. Like, my mom deals with osteoporosis, and I bought her a grounding mat, and she used to be in pain all day, every day. She sleeps with that grounding mat under her feet every night, and that woman is walking like she is 10 years younger. So the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a grounding mat?
So they say that as human, we are an electromagnetic being, right? And we get the electromagnetics from the ground when we're walking barefoot. But in society, we're all wearing rubber shoes, right?
Yeah.
So we're not getting what
Mhm.
we need from the earth.
Mhm.
And that is why a lot of us are having disease, arthritis, this, that, we can't sleep, we're having insomnia, we're having all of these things because we are not being allowed to ground on a daily basis. Do you know, like, who's happier and healthier in this world than a child who runs around all summer barefoot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're so disconnected from nature and we don't even realize it because these are societal standards, right? So grounding every day, the best obviously would to be to go outside and walk around, for 10
Yeah.
minutes barefoot in the grass and really absorb all of the magnetism that we get from the ground. But in places like Canada, where we have 4 seasons and there's a lot of time where we can't do barefoot outside, the grounding mat mimics everything that you would get from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's grounding you. It's grounding your energy. It's grounding your body. It's, giving you
Yeah.
all of the things that you need. Yeah. And they're great. I have one.
Do they look like Earth or like not Earth, but you know what I mean?
No,
Or do
it's
they
just
just
like a
look like a
black
mat?
mat. It looks just like a black heating pad per
Right.
se.
Yeah.
And you plug it in and you just lay on it under your feet or under your body or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to put it on your desk so that you're grounding while you're on your computer every day, like if that's where you spend most of your time. Or I do it in my bed because I'm all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So at night, that's when I do my meditation and then I ground, like I'm grounding all night long while I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all just like really good, healthy, holistic practices that just take care of you daily. And it I don't have to do anything for it. It doesn't cost me any time. I'm doing this while I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you know what I
great.
mean?
Yeah.
It's just like drinking water. It comes natural. So it's there. I know it's there.
Yeah.
I don't have to mess with it. I just have to go to bed and sleep. And these are the things that we need to start implementing into our lives that are going to help us take better care of ourselves holistically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm looking forward to having a session with you and really, yeah. And the whole, grounding mat thing sounds pretty wonderful. If you say
Yeah.
that.
There's
If you
actually
say left
videos.
feet, like,
Yeah, there's videos on YouTube that explain it straight down. Like there was this man, he was paralyzed from the waist down for, I don't even know how many years. I'm not even going to guess because I know I'm going to get it wrong. But
yeah.
he started using the grounding mat and the man started to walk. This is how our bodies are so accustomed to being like, oh, I have diabetes. That's it.
See,
I
now
have
that's
diabetes and
why
I'm
it
going to
sounds
continue to live
woo.
for the
Like,
rest
did
of my
that
life.
really happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
now I have to look for the evidence. Like, I got to see this guy. I got to talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, like go and check out the videos. They're on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there are so many things, right? That like people are thinking like, oh, it's so unexplainable. Like this is a miracle. No, it's not, because there's science based behind it.
Yeah.
But we just don't know the science because we're not looking into it. We're not researching it. We're not experiencing it because we're not told by mainstream media or society about these things. We're not taught how to heal ourselves. We're taught to go to the doctor and take the pills that big pharma gives us and deal with the symptoms, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I want to get to the core.
Yeah.
I want to get to the root of the problem and figure out what we do to change the root. And the symptoms will alleviate once you deal with the root.
Yeah. 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 I know all of that. Yeah, that's so.
Yeah.
Do people usually come to you because they are experiencing physical pain? Is it physical and emotional pain? Why do people come and see you?
It depends. They do. They come to me when they're dealing with physical pain. And then we get into the root of the problem and they realize, like, oh shit, this is really emotional stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is it. And then there are others that come for coaching just for the emotional stuff because they know I'm going to go deep, I'm going to go raw. And I'm going to cry with them and I'm going to hug them and we're going to process it and get through it together. But there are also a lot of people who come to me because I have a lot of knowledge of um, herbal remedies and homeopathic ways of healing. Um, I'm not a doctor, I cannot diagnose you, but I can give you my experience on things. And I can also give you resources so that you can do your own research and decide if this is something that you feel aligned with that is going to work for you or that you're even willing to try to see if it works for you, right?
Yeah.
They say Mother Nature was great. She gave us, you know, a plant
Mm-hmm.
to heal any ailment we have. We just
Yeah.
have to do the research and find it, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. And do you work with men, women, children, adults? Do you work with all those
Everybody. Yep.
everybody? Okay.
Anybody. That's what I'm here to do. I'm a healer. I'm a helper. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
spent 18 years as a PSW, and I thought that that was my calling. That's how I help. That's how I heal. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because as a PSW, you're not just dealing with like the physical stuff that your clients are dealing with. You're also helping them with the emotional, and then you end up acting as a social worker for the families. But you're also feeding them and cooking for them and
Mm-hmm.
nourishing their bodies, right? So I thought for many years that that was my calling, but then I had a really scary bout with vertigo where I'd almost dropped a patient who was 96 years old. And I was like, I cannot be doing this. Like, he's 96, one of my
Yeah.
favorite people. Like,
Yeah.
I was spinning, like, thank God I have really strong legs and I kind of slipped him from my leg onto the toilet. But
Mm-hmm.
then I had a conversation with my doctor and I realized that it's BPPV, so it's positional vertigo. So I can't say that I won't be able to like turn my neck here, turn my neck there when I'm doing this type of work, right? So
Yeah.
I chose to go into a different realm of healing where it's just as important, but it's helped me heal as well. Like while I'm learning to do these things, while I was taking my coaching program and while I was doing my Reiki um, certification and stuff, I was healing myself while I was learning to help heal others. And I think for me, that just made it like where I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is my purpose. This is where I go. This is the avenue that I take. Like, this feels right in everything that is me.
Yeah. I love it. That's awesome. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add and tell everybody about you, yourself, your business, or what you do before we talk a little bit about me, and then we'll get
No,
into.
that's it. They can reach me DMs on all my socials.
Yep.
Dear
I
Divine
will put
Goddess.
all that in the show notes
Yeah,
too, so it's easy for them
yeah,
to
for sure.
access for sure.
For sure. I'll reach out on all my socials because everything, thanks to COVID, can be done, via video
Yeah.
or via telephone or, remotely. So they don't
Mhm.
have to come and see me and I don't have to go to them, like everything can be done the way we're doing this right now. So it's
Perfect.
easier, it's beneficial, it makes it more accessible.
Yeah. Do you offer in person too, whether you go them or they go to you? Do you offer any of that right now or no?
Um, I will offer going to them. I used to do Reiki sessions and so in my home, but then I realized that it's a lot of energy that is left residually in my home, and my home is my comfort, and my
Yeah.
home is where my son lives. So right now, I'm not doing it in my home. I'm actually looking for a place that I can do sessions maybe once a week or so, like
Mm.
like a spa or a place that offers these kind of different practices, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking into that.
Nice, nice. I might have a couple places of mine, so we'll talk about that.
Ooh.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So I guess we'll talk a little bit about me and what I do, and
Mhm.
then we'll talk about Lost Souls Initiative docuseries and really what the point about all of this is. So hey guys, as most of you know, or some of you know, I am Jennifer Bulbrook. I am a certified mental health reality coach, and I coach on all things real, including mental health and reality TV. I have a business called I Am Somebody, and I chose that name because everybody always asks me like why I am somebody. So I'm just gonna get that out of the way. So I am somebody I put out there because for the longest time I felt like I didn't matter. I felt like I was nobody. I felt like you had to be somebody if you were, if you were on, you had to be on TV, you had to be rich, you'd have to be really known and popular in order to be somebody. And I had a friend who always would tell me, like, you're somebody, like, you don't have to have all that, you're Jennifer fucking Bulbrook, and remember that. And so that's where I am somebody kind of came from, because I know I'm not alone in thinking these thoughts, or used to think those thoughts. So I know there's lots of people out there that do. So I just want people to remember that they are somebody, and it doesn't matter their mental health, it doesn't matter their religion or their financial status or any of that jazz. And so, with all of that, what do I do? So, I help humans suffering with depression, anxiety, and addictions, and really to overcome the barriers and take back their control, all while building one's self confidence. And so if you're someone who is, wanting to participate in like social events and want to go and hang out with friends, or, want to like go on a trip, but your anxiety gets the best of you and you just can't do it. Well, work with me. You'll have me by your side. We work through the processes. You'll have my number, and so if you want to get on that plane, or if you want to go on a social thing and you just need me there just to kind of breathe with you and like just talk with you and stuff, you always got me. And so I really help my clients really get through the anxiety part of their battles, and that whatever it may be. I also help people with bouts of depression, and so really taking back their control over it. A lot of times people's depression get in the way and they have to take a lot of time off work, or they're not able to leave their house or even their bed at times. And so again, you have me there to give you the tools, some support, and really help you overcome depression and those barriers, and really get you to stop living your life and just continue living it. And the same goes with drinking. Like I help everybody with their drinking, whether you want to quit, whether you want to manage it, you have me. I'll teach you the tools. I will help you develop an individualized drinking plan if you want to learn to maintain your drinking. It doesn't have to be an all-in-one thing for everybody. If you want to be able to learn to manage it, you can have that. So don't think you're going to come to me and it's going to be like an AA approach. It's really nothing like AA. Yeah, and there's no judgment. There's lots of different things that are just not like AA. So if you're somebody who wants help and feels like A is not for you, not stopping drinking altogether isn't for you, and come see me and we will work something out. I'm actually in the process of launching a 6 month put the cat back on the bottle program. And so whoever joins when I have that launching, it's going to be like my pilot one. And so what I'm thinking of what I'm going to do is have anybody who joins now gets a second round for free. So you have a whole year to work with me. And basically I've taken all the material that I've worked with my clients over the last couple of years, and I put it into a program, and so kind of condensed it all. So majority of my clients have learned to manage their drinking and go strong within the first 3 months or so. So to have me for a whole year is like, it's just extra spice in your thing, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
then what I
great.
was thinking is having them come on as mentors and helping with upcoming classes and stuff. Like I have all these ideas. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So anyway, that's but I'm not only somebody who just coaches. Like I have experience personally and background with experience. Like I was a child and youth worker for like I don't know, 12 years or something. And I worked in a law office for like 7 years. And so I have a lot of history of helping people in different forms and such. And I was gonna go with somewhere with that. Now I don't remember what, but I have personal experience as well. So I have been, diagnosed with so many different things. I could probably write my own medical dictionary, from like depression, anxiety, bipolar, borderline, like you name it. It seems like I was diagnosed with it. And so I can definitely relate to a lot of people that come to me in one way or another. And I was really, a lot of people look at me and they're like, there's no way that you had a really bad drinking problem, so forth. But I was somebody who has like bottles of vodka laying around my house, like hidden in a boot, hidden in the back of the silverware, anywhere where I didn't think anybody was going to go. In that drawer, there was alcohol there. And, there's times where I couldn't leave my bed for months on end because I was just so depressed, and I would drink in bed. And then there was times where my anxiety was so bad, like I didn't live the life I really wanted to live up until a couple of years ago. Like I've always
Yeah, it's debilitating. It really is debilitating.
I wanted to go on trips. I couldn't do that. I wanted, even getting in a car. And then I worked for a law firm, and a lot of the cases were like personal injury and like car accidents. So once I started with that,
vehicle accidents.
oh no, now I can't get in a car. And it was just, so I had a lot of stuff that I battled on my own, and I've been able to overcome all of it. I haven't had a bout of depression in, I don't know, a couple of years. My anxiety, I've been able to manage through it. It's not gone forever and like completely out of the picture, not saying it won't be in the future, but right now I still get it at times, but I can manage it. I don't run out of the room. I don't not show up. I, do things that I want to do. And so, and my drinking's completely out of and under control. I have like no desire. I was thinking and talking to someone about that the other day. I have like no real desire to drink. Even when I like, oh, let's go out on Saturday and yeah, we'll have a couple drinks and go, do this. And then I sit there and I'm like, but do I really even want to drink? Like I'll probably just end up having.
Yeah, you still go, but you're not finding the need to drink anymore.
Like I have no desire, no physical desire, no emotional desire to drink anymore. And I never would have thought that that would have ever been me. And I noticed how much my confidence has skyrocketed throughout all of this. And so now I'm like, not only have I overcome so much, I now help so many other people overcome their depression, their anxiety, and their alcohol problems. And it's
amazing for me to be able to like watch that journey, because I remember you when you were younger and you were struggling. You reminded me of a mouse, because you were as meek and as quiet as a mouse, because you were holding all of that inside. And it's like I saw your worth more than you did. And it's like I knew this was in there. And to see you come out like, you know what I mean? swinging. I cannot believe, Jen, that you do not have a dependence on alcohol and you did it on your own. Like it's so crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like you did all of this on your own. You taught yourself how to do this.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that you are extending that and you're teaching others now. I think it's beautiful.
That's like the power of coaching. Like I, went to AA and I went to, detox and rehab, and I did all those things and and therapy and all that. And although sometimes I felt a little bit better in that, I never was where I wanted to be. I was never ever had a control over my drinking. I never ever had a control over my depression or my anxiety. And so just learning the tools that I've learned and what I now teach my I was gonna say my students, but my clients is, it's life altering shit, and it's powerful stuff, and it's not even that difficult. It's like the steps isn't that difficult. When I tell people, they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, you just have to practice and have some patience and, and blah and all that other jazz. You know what I mean?
And get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way. And like you said, like I was like a mouse. Like I had all this stuff I wanted to say, but I was so busy worrying about what other people would think and say. So then I would drink And then I wouldn't even say really what I wanted to say because now I'm just like a drunken mess, like, and
Yeah.
so it would backfire. The drinking would always usually backfire on me. And
Yeah.
I always wanted to speak and say stuff. Didn't matter what it was. It could be just as simple as, like, I don't know, like I watched something on TV, whatever, and or it could be something as important as, mental health crap. And I would never say anything just because I was always worried about what other people would think. But then I
Mhm.
realized like people are always going to think something anyway, and everyone's going to think something different. So there's no way I'm going to control that. So I'm going to stop trying and I'm going to worry about what I think. And so that's
Exactly.
where really my personal journey really was like, you know what, let's do this shit. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much what I kind of do. A lot of people ask me though, and I forget all the time too, like, what's the reality and reality TV bit about my business about? And so there's a couple of things about reality TV that most people don't know. You probably don't even know this as well. But reality TV, all TV, but mostly reality TV had been a pretty big part of me turning my life around. I use TV to help me cross some big milestones in my journey, like stop like managing my drinking and a lot of my self-hatred and my self-confidence stems from using TV and the people on TV as a resource. And so now what I do is I take TV, usually reality TV, but I see something good on it. Like I just saw something good on another show the other day. I was like, got it. I got to use this. I will use it in my coaching sessions and I use it in my lessons. And people can relate to TV. Like that's just the way it is, right? Everybody
Yeah.
watches it. And so it does wonders. And then I also am in the process of starting my own reality TV show where so stay tuned guys because it's going to be good. So I'm going to take coaching and I'm going to take all of the jazz that we do in that, and we're going to really show people what coaching is about and how you can get from one side to the other. And whether I've got some clients that want to work on like hoarding, and I got some that want to work on their anxiety, and you're going to see us through the process of how we get from the anxiety being so bad where you don't want to leave the house type thing to now we're like doing things that you never ever thought, like whatever the goals are, and you're gonna watch me take them along the process. So that's gonna be really exciting. So stay tuned for that. And if anybody wants to like be on it, then let me know, reach out, and I will send you a application and more information on all that kind of jazz. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell, my business, what I do type of thing. Um, and so I guess let's give it back to Isabel, and you can talk a little bit about really what Lost Souls Initiative docuseries is about and why you wanted to start it. Um, and yeah.
Well, on Easter Sunday of this year, my brother, who battled with mental health and addiction for a very long time, committed suicide. He jumped off the 14th story of my mom's balcony in front of her. And I just felt hopeless. Like, and I put myself in his shoes and like, what was he thinking? What was he feeling? What did he need? As family members, we try our hardest, right? And you have to realize like, you cannot save somebody. They have to save themselves. So after the funeral, you and I had a quick little conversation, and I had said that I wanted to do more, and then it just snowballed from there, right? Because of the work that we both do, we came up with the idea about the walk, which we'll talk about after. But it snowballed from there, and then you're like, oh, let's do um, some interviews on the podcast because we really just want to let people be heard. We want to hear their stories. We want to hear how the system failed them. We want to hear how it has felt to live with these issues or to support somebody who's living with these issues. Like, we want it all. We want it all, because the only way to break down the barriers and the stigma around it is understanding. And I feel like if we showcase these people, these individuals, and give them a voice and give them a platform, then there can be so much more understanding, because that is what it's all about. People have to realize that mental health and addiction does not discriminate. It doesn't care if you're rich. It doesn't care if you're white. It doesn't care if you're 5. It doesn't care if you're 20. It does not discriminate. It can affect each and every one of us. And since the stuff with COVID, like, it's all increased like crazy. Like, all of it: domestic violence, suicide, addiction, homelessness, mental health. It's all gone skyrocket, like rampant,
Mhm.
So we figured this is a way to really kind of gap the bridges, um, so that we're not ridiculing each other, or really kind of um, uh, separating in society, like us against them. No, we are all having problems. We are all facing issues. And I think just the understanding and the compassion and the kindness around it is the start to change. And I'm hoping that we can get, some attention from the federal government, so that they can see that things need to change, like, now.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
people are dying, people are losing their loved ones, and it's creating even more trauma, which is creating more mental health, which is creating, it's just exasperating an already really, really dangerous problem that we're having here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I really wanted to be a part of this because like there is shit going on that people aren't talking about. There's things that are happening that people aren't aware of. Like things like that happened to your brother. Like that is not the first time I had heard something like that happening. Years ago, a friend of mine was struggling with mental health, struggling with addictions, was in the hospital, brought there by police. Next, you know, she's at home jumping off her balcony, leaving behind a few young children. Like, are you kidding me? Like, and now it's happening still to this day. Like, it's like you would have thought there would be something to now prevent that from happening. That happened years ago, and nobody knows about that. Nobody's talked about that. And it's still happening. Why? Because no one's talking about it. Why? Because people aren't, I don't know why. People are
Because
scared.
they feel like they are alone in this, and that they don't have
They
a
feel
help.
like
They don't have a leg to stand on. They
they
don't
feel,
know where to go. They don't know where to access the resources.
you
They
know,
don't know who to reach out to.
they're scared. They've already gone there for help and they were denied. So now what are they going to do? Who are they going to ask for help now? They're just going to be denied. And so there's so many things that we need to look at. You know, I wanted to bring on a variety of people with this series because we all struggle in a different way. Things are going to show up for us differently, and it's good to be aware. It's good to know, and to know you're not alone, because some little piece of a story of one person you may resonate with. You may now be like, oh, that sounds kind of like my sister or my brother or my kid or my dad. Maybe I should have a little more compassion towards them instead of judging them. Right. And so, like, just know you guys aren't alone. And that's like the real big reasons why I wanted to do this. For myself, a lot of my history with the system was more years ago, and it was when I was younger, when my parents had the guardianship of me, so I didn't have to deal with any of the paperwork in that. But when I do talk to my mom, it doesn't seem like it was as bad as it is now. Like, to me, it sounds like it's gotten a lot worse, not better. And that is like, hey, what are we doing wrong? Well, we need to figure it out, you know. And so many
Well,
people.
yeah, because of the budgeting cuts. So everything is being cut, right? And
Mhm.
these are the things in healthcare that people aren't really understanding, that are being cut, and they are needed. Like, somebody who is in a mental health crisis
Mhm.
should not be waiting 2 years. to get help.
No.
They could be dead within 2 years. They are in crisis. They need it, and they need it now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think there's a one size fit all type of solution.
No.
But I do think that you can start somewhere. Like, why not see about hiring, like have the city hire somebody or a few people to go out to the place to the areas where they're living outside and get them some mental health, counseling, coaching. Like, I know lots of people that would be like, yeah, like I would do that.
Outreach for sure.
And go out to those places, because we know they're not gonna, a lot of them aren't going to go into somewhere because they've either tried already, or like they have no home. You know what I mean? They don't want to leave their stuff behind. Like, there's lots of different reasons, but we can
and they're just not very trusting of the system, because the system has let them down so much, right?
Yes.
So when they're going into a place where it feels very, the word I'm looking for here, I'm losing it, very institutionalized. They're not trusting of it. They want everyday people that they can relate to, that have been there, who've done that, who have dealt with the issues that they are dealing with, right? Where they're like, yeah, you've been there, you know what you're talking about.
Not always have to, like, you don't always have to be there to have the compassion and to listen. That's all you need to do, is listen to these people and ask them what it is that would most benefit you, and they will tell you what it is they need. So why are we not doing that? You know what I mean? The government is asking the people who already have houses and are living there, going, well, what do you think? We don't care what they think. They already have a fucking house. We want to hear from the people who are struggling right now for whatever reason. And I know there's a lot of people out there who might have, not have a home, and they're not addicted to anything. They may not even necessarily have mental health issues. They just might have, lost their job in that, because things are tight right now. So don't be so quick to judge either. And even if they do have a drug problem or they have mental health problems, who fucking cares? Don't judge them, either or.
There's a reason for that, though. They are trying to numb out. These people are using drugs to numb out and to self-medicate from mental health issues, or to self-medicate from traumas. They're not doing this because they just woke up one day and thought, oh, it would be nice to be a drug addict. Like, nobody wants to live that life. The circumstances they have lived through, the traumas they have endured in their life, is what brought them to that place where they need connection. They have been abandoned. They have been shunned. They have been ridiculed. They have been judged. And this is what people are doing more of. They don't need more of that. They need somebody to open their arms and say, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you're going through. I care. I care. I see you. I hear you. How can I help? That is what they need. That is what they need. That is what every single one of us need. We all need connection. We all need community. We all need to feel like we matter. And we all need basic human necessities. These people are not getting any of it.
Yeah. Us humans, if you ask everybody, all humans, they will always tell you, I want love. I just want love. I want to love, and I want to be loved. We all want the same fucking thing, yet we are in so many shambles over so many other things. It's like, let's really look at the biggest picture, you know what I mean? And let's start really just being there for one another without the judgment. And that's really like, like you said, like, people want to be seen in that, and we need to see them like they are somebody. They're not nobody. None of us are nobody. And so we need to stop looking at people as if they are. It irks me when I hear that, it's the government's going to help, help you end your life, but they're not going to help you get a house. Like, like, and you know what I mean? Like, there's just articles that I've read that I'm like,
there's so much wrong with the system.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, like, it's just, but that's a whole other, for another thing. So
My favorite saying, and I say it all the time, is everybody is somebody to someone.
For sure.
So when you're walking down the street and you see that guy who is, half hanging off the bench because he's high on fentanyl and he's dirty and he has nowhere to live and his skin is sunken in because he hasn't eaten in a week, that is somebody's person.
He's
That is
also a
somebody's
somebody
father.
to
That is somebody's
himself. Like
brother. That is somebody's loved one.
but he's also somebody, like he's also a person. He's a human, and don't even like to me, it's like you don't
Absolutely
even need to
is.
look at like they have a loved one. Like that person is a human. They were once a baby. They were once a child. They were like just like you and I. And so start looking at people as if they're human and stop looking at them because of what they look like,
Like
or
they
because
are a
of what they
problem.
wear, or because of where they work, or where they live, or whatever the case is, and start remembering we're all fucking human. Like plain and
These
simple.
individuals are not the problem. They are the
Absolutely
symptom
not.
of the problem.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. So that is, Lost Souls Initiatives is going to be, to sum it up, a collage of different stories and experiences from all walks of life, talking about their mental health, their addictions, the help that they got, the help that they didn't get, where they think, we could do to improve the system and all of that jazz. And so if any of you are like, you know what, I have a story to tell, I have an idea, even if you think that idea is small, share it, because somebody else, it might bounce their idea, and that idea next to could be a big idea. So there is no small idea. There's no stupid idea. So if you have an idea, if you feel like you have a experience, a story to tell, reach out to me, reach out to Isabel, and we will schedule you in to do it. If you are feeling like you have a story to tell, but you don't want to be physically seen, or you don't want to be the one to tell it, you are
Do it
always welcome to
anonymously.
write it down, give it to us. I will read it. Isabel will read it. And so we can always do it that way too. You can be anonymous if that's what you wish. And just, yeah, so that's what we're offering. We are open to hearing anybody and everybody's story. I'm not going to deny anybody to telling their story. Doesn't matter how big, how little, it's your story to tell, as long as it's, respectful and not, in any way harming anybody, then I'm going to say, tell your story, and I will both allow you. So please reach out if you have a story.
All are welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the meantime, Isabel is hosting a memorial walk, Say His Name, on Sunday, August 13th at 11 a.m. And we will be meeting across the street at St. Joseph's, across the street of St. Joseph's Hospital. There is a dentist and a walk-in clinic, I believe, there. The address is 232 James Street. We will be walking around the hospital. We will end at the front steps of City Hall, where we'll have pizza, we'll have cupcakes, and just kind of chat to know each other. Everybody is welcome. So please invite everybody. You guys come out, and let's just make some noise so people know like we are serious about this. We really want some changes. We don't want to see anybody else lose a loved one, lose their own life because we weren't listening or paying attention or too busy or whatever the fuck excuse that
Let's build community and show the people that we love that are suffering that we mean business. We are there. We're showing up.
Yeah. So until next, and these we're going to post these every week. Will be Wednesdays. You'll have a video on YouTube, and you'll have it on every platform for podcasts, and all of the information will be in the show notes. All of the links to get to the episodes will be in the show notes. All of Isabel's information will be in the show notes. All of my information will be in the show notes. And so until then, until next week, until whenever, we love you all. Remember, no matter what, you are somebody, you matter, you're not alone. So if you need anything, you can always reach out to us. We love you. Take care of yourself, guys.